Honey, leave it. First training session. 5-year-old border collie. Honey is Winnie's mom. The breeder was rehoming her, and we decided to bring her to live with us. I usually start with food in a closed fist, but Honey was not really mugging my hand, so I skipped to my second step of trying to open my hand. If she goes for the food in my hand, I simply close my hand. As soon as she backs away, I mark with a yes and reward. Honey has had very little formal training and is learning the basics. I would rather have her learn to give me eye contact without me having to ask her for it. So I wait to see if she chooses to look at me. If she does not choose to look at me, I will make a kissy noise. When she looks at me, I mark with a yes in reward. I am at the point where I can leave my hand open and she is not going for the food. She is a smart girl. Now that she is already leaving the food, I am going to add my leave it cue right before she ignores it and looks at me. Leave it. Yes. Yes. Leave it. Yes. To make it more difficult, I am placing the food on the ground. If she goes for it, I am simply going to cover the food. I do not need to say anything. Covering the food is telling her it is off limits. When she moves away from it or stops going for the food, I mark with a yes and reward. Leave it. Yes. Leave it. Yes. Leave it. Yes. 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 Good girl. Making it more difficult by tossing a treat. Leave it. Yes. Leave it. Yes. Good girl. Oh, did you fall over? Did you fall over? Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Yes, good girl. Leave it. Yes, good girlie. Good job. Yes, good girl. Leave it. Yes, good girl. Leave it. Yes, good girl. Leave it. Yes, good girl. I feel that teaching a leave it cue can be useful for so many things. I use it on walks when I want my dogs to avoid something like a dead animal, snakes, or bushes go for squirrel holes where snakes could be hiding. When leave it is trained in a positive way, it can be used to interrupt unacceptable behaviors like getting into the trash. I can even call my dogs off a bad frisbee throw by cueing them to leave it. I have one dog that used to be reactive towards other dogs, and now when he sees a dog, I cue him to leave it, and he looks at me instead. I have done a lot of work with him to not react to other dogs, and even though he is reliable and has not had an episode in many years, I still set him up to succeed by cueing him to leave it before he has a chance to react. Leave it. Yes, good I like having my dogs give me eye contact instead of staring at the food in my hand or the thing I would like them to leave. I look at it as if they are learning to ask for permission. Once they look at me, I can give them another cue. Sometimes the cue could be for them to go check it out and do the thing they really want to do. It is hard to believe this is her first Leave It training session. She picked it up super fast. Next, I will work on her on leash, leaving things off the ground as she walks.